Today we're talking about perspective. This whole week it'll be about the perspective chapter. So sometimes when you're like straight out of myelin, you might need some perspective. You also might need some perspective when you've had a headache for 6 days straight. I have found perspective a number of different ways. One of them is looking at circumstances, and instead of saying, okay, something good happened despite having an illness, sometimes some good things happen because I had an illness. If I would have continued as a classroom teacher, I wouldn't have become the piano teacher I am today. And I have made some amazing connections with children and adults of all ages, with the students and their parents. And some of the connections have been significant. It'd be fun for you to read more about that in chapter 13. If we look at our life and think, if only this horrible thing hadn't happened. If you think, even if I have whatever hardship you're thinking about, even if that happens, even if I get a terrible diagnosis, even if, I will be okay. And I feel that way because I believe in God and I trust Him to take care of me no matter what. So switching your thinking from if only to even if is powerful. Once upon a time, I had an occupational therapist come to my house to help me set up some workstations. And I apologized for something. I said, yeah, blah, 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 I can't do this because I'm not normal. And she goes, oh, we don't use the word normal. If you're not normal, according to whatever standard you're implying, it has negative connotations. Speaking of occupational therapy, that's exactly what Claire wants to be when she grows up. And the French word for occupational therapy, I think I'll have a guest speaker say it.
Ergothérapie.
Thank you, Claire. Ergo at the beginning of that, which is like short for ergonomics, and therapy is like therapy, so it's like ergonomics therapy. That's the name for occupational therapy in French. I thought that was cool, and I thought you needed to know that little tidbit. Something that does not give me perspective is comparing myself to others. So trying to squash comparisons gives me better perspective on my reality and all the blessings that I have and how wonderful my life is. I learned to let go of a number of things, and there's a grieving process when you have to let go of being able to go on a long walk with a friend. It's not a reality for me right now. That was a hard thing to let go of because I really did enjoy doing things like that. However, there are many other ways I connect with people. When something has been blocked and I can't do it, as I've said before, it's important for me to pivot. So there are many ways that I get perspective and look at the big picture. I have hope because I know God is taking care of me. He has proven Himself faithful. Faith, family, and friendship have all made a wonderful difference in my life. They give me perspective. One thing that was funny, one time when I was going through a relapse, or I can't remember what was going on, my mom jokingly said, well, at least you have your health. And that cracked me up because my mom is usually more sad than joking about my illnesses. So anyway, that was really funny. And it's funny because that's how we feel often, right? At least you have your health, like that's the most important thing. Guess what? It's not. Even if you don't have your health, it's not the end of the world. You are so much more than your health. I am so much more than my health. Oh, I was going to tell you what straight out of myelin is all about. We talked about this in chapter 3. Myelin is the protective coating around our nerves, and people who have MS, our immune systems are attacking our nervous system and attacking that myelin sheath around the nerves, and that's what causes disruptions in signals. I'm kind of getting into MS merch, so I'm representing. I'm straight out of myelin. I must still have a lot of myelin because there's a lot more I can do than can't. Shifting my thinking from thinking about what I did do today, not what I failed to do. So it's a mindset, and it gives perspective. I hope you enjoy this chapter. I hope it helps you get perspective on things that are happening in your life. Let's always remember, there is always hope. Any hoosers. Hey, it's my kiddo.